Good morning. Some solid shouts yesterday on Telegram. Let's take a look at the main profit makers. Lynn and Arlison's. I do wait in some matches for a second goal to be scored by the team I want to take on in order to get a better entry point into the market. And this was the case here, Lynn and Arlison's. It was at the 2-0 Arlison's that we got involved. 1-2 was your first cash out opportunity. 2-2 was your second opportunity with a potential here for near enough £43-44 green. Greedy old bar steward that I am, that 130 lured me in with the promise of £24.50 on the draw. This is what I do for members of footballtrainingprofits.com. We try to make sure that we get this kind of a configuration where your maximum loss is very minimal. Your secondary gain is okay, but it does keep you alive for that three-figure return. So close. So close. The other play, let's have a look. Servette and Poulsen. Nice and simple. Servette scored first, which means on aggregate a 2-0 lead. So a draw is pointless for Poulsen in this match. They did make it 1-1. I went match odds on this occasion, but you could have gone +1 as well if that market's still here. And you'd have profited in the +1 market as well. Probably the better route because it's only a marginal gain with the match odds. But 48 quid, not to be sniffed at. That's a green screen when Poulsen made it 1-2, which they had to. That's why I went match odds. A draw is utterly pointless for Poulsen on aggregate. So really good stuff yesterday. Congratulations must go to Rangers for scoring and crushing the dreams of Panathinaikos, who did score first, second half. If you did lay the draw in that one, the draw odds went up to about 6.6. Some very poor performers, at least that's what the market suggested. Karabag obviously did the job in the first half. FC, SP, Steaua Bucharest were just god-awful. And I think we still got to play out of them in some way. Just really poor performance, wasn't it? Goal before half-time, but then Skendia concede, and by the time this goal came in, it was done and dusted. Lay the draw second half, but we were expecting Steaua Bucharest to get the goal. But this came so late, it wouldn't necessarily have negatively affected the profits. You would have been able to green out on that one. Today, it's the turn of the Europa League and the Conference League. I haven't done any of the Conference League. Look at all this. The daily bulletin will be a copy of War and Peace. If I do that, you'll have to take a week off to read the research. Not doing that, I'm afraid. I tried to get artificial intelligence, who was artificially unintelligent 4 consecutive occasions. The absolute tool, ChatGPT tool, acting like a tool. I gave him the first leg scores. I gave them to him, and he cocked it up on 4 occasions. So I gave up. ChatGPT is good for some stuff, but not for this. So let's take a look. It's all about first leg score lines as your angle in to the second leg. So I've done that for members of Football Trading Profits, but I'll show you today. So Larnaca and Celje, it's a stalemate. Penalties as well. So it's poor stuff. Hacken and Anderlecht. So all to play for AEK Larnaca and Celje. And now what you do is just marry that with the market's expectation. And you've got an idea of how the match will unfold. Europa League qualifier Hacken against Anderlecht. Lost 0-1 in the first leg. This is all to play for. What does the market fancy today? Well, the market's not too clear. 2.3 for Anderlecht. Don't forget, Anderlecht do have a Champions League pedigree. Far more so than Hacken, that's for sure. So it's only a 1-goal deficit. Hacken must score next. Looking on down, Cluj and Lugano. 0-0 pre-match. Yeah, drew 0-0 in the first leg. Very few shots on target. And you can actually tell or look at the shots on target if these matches are still up with that 7-day rule from Soccer 24. You can actually have a look at the matches, shots on and off target from the first leg. It can be a quite useful tool, but this is all to play for today. And again, look at the market, lukewarm. Shakhtar Donetsk have already done the job against Bez. Let's have a look. 4-2, but there's only a 2-goal deficit. Besiktas, well, welcome to hell. Not quite, was it? Welcome to purgatory. 4-2 defeat. And that's scoring 4 goals away from home from Shakhtar Donetsk, the Ukrainian side. The only disadvantage I would suggest is during the war, they might not be playing at home today. I would be wary of Besiktas, but Besiktas must score the first 2 goals today. Utrecht against Sheriff Tiraspol. I would have expected more of Sheriff Tiraspol, who was sharing Champions League football with Real Madrid a few years ago. But 3-1 lead for Utrecht in the first leg. Typical of a Netherlands side to be full of goals. And we've got those. Sorry, I was just trying to get rid of all those damn question marks. This is a formatting issue. It's a pain in the behind. So 2 goals for Sheriff Tiraspol. They must score. Don't forget, we've got a little history going way back of giving Real Madrid something to think about. But I think that was just a flash in the pan. Still, they must score the first 2 goals, Sheriff Tiraspol. And when you see a 2-goal deficit, unlike Panathinaikos and Keiret Almaty, Sheriff Tiraspol are not favourite. So that is a damning indictment from the market. Braga against Levski Sofia. Drew 0-0 in the first leg. Braga really do have goals, and goals aplenty, at least in the Portuguese Primeira Liga. 1.25 suggests 3-0, 3-1, any other home score. And that might come to fruition today, given it's 0-0 in the first leg. Braga will need to do a number on Levski Sofia with home advantage today. Hibs from Scotland against Midtjylland. 2 sides we know. And it's 1-1 from the first leg. Hibs scored first, Midtjylland equalised. So that was pretty good. We called that trade as well. All to play for. Hibs are at home. Sunshine on Leith. Proclaimers will be there. Let's hope they can sing a very loud version of Sunshine on Leith at the end of this match. Midtjylland, though, and no mugs. They've started the Danish Super League very, very strongly, scoring an absolute shed load, but conceding an absolute shed load at the same time. Legia Warsaw against Banach Ostrava. It's 2-2 from the first leg. All to play for, but a clear indicator that the Polish side, whose league has begun, are favoured. So as far as the Conference League is concerned, let's see if we can find the first leg match results and just work our way through. So let's take a quick look through the first leg scorelines. Get another copy of Soccer 24 up here, and we could do a compare and contrast with today. So Athletic Escaldes and Dinamo Tirana. It's 1-2 from the first leg. Just a 1-goal deficit there. Tirana, the Albanian side, are the 1.48 favourite today. They're playing an Andorran side, but these two, at least on the totem pole at the FIFA World Club rankings, are really poor countries for football. Let's go again. Astana against Zimbru Chisinau. It's 1-1 from the first leg, and that was a 1.17 Astana from Kazakhstan. So arguably a good performance from Zimbru Chisinau. How are they today? Well, let's have a look. Astana still retain odds-on favouritism, but they just didn't perform at 1.17 in the first leg. That's a slight red flag. But what I will do today is I will take into account that first leg emphatic confidence from the market and see whether that comes alive with a delay, i.e. comes alive today. So let's have a look at Payda and AEK. It's a comfortable as you like evening. I'm not going to be looking at the odds. It's AEK is going to be favourite. They are at home to an Estonian side. Don't need to win. Got a comfortable 2-goal lead, but by far the better side. Scoring freely as well in the domestic league. 1.5 favourite Sparta Prague, 2-1 down to Aktobe from Kazakhstan. These Kazakh sides have been doing a good job. I wonder if Borat's had a word with them. Kairat Almaty winning, and a couple of the others dominant first half displays, or first leg displays. So let's have a look at Aktobe and Sparta Prague. We know Sparta Prague very well from the Czech League, and naturally, very, very short-priced home favourites against Borat's boys. So we will be expectant of them today. Just trying to get the scoreline up here. That's the one. So we've got as far as here. Ararat Armenia against Cluj. It's 0-0 from the first leg. 2.7 the favourite. Tells you everything you need to know there. Has the market lurched in favour of the Romanians now they've got home advantage? Well, let's see. Cluj. Well, it's 2.25 the favourite. There must be two Clujes. Yes, indeed. University Cluj. Odds on today against Ararat Armenia. Home of Noah, the Europe's oldest manager, who scored 2 goals yesterday, Noah, but to no avail, alas. So let's go back and carry on. 1.53 Cluj expected today. And the Romanian league has begun as well. So we go from Cluj to Aras and Aris. Evens favourite Aris from Greece. They are going to be at home today. I would suspect we're going to see an odds-on favourite in Aris Thessaloniki today with home advantage. Indeed, 1.3 odds-on favourite at home, Aris Thessaloniki. Must get a result today. There are 2 Arises, so just be careful. One from Greece, one from Cyprus. Arda and HJK Helsinki is 0-0 from the first leg. How does the market fancy HJK today? We know them very well, don't we, from the Finnish Veikkausliiga? And a 1.65 home favourite today. That's about right for HJK Helsinki. All to play for, basically. No away goal rule. 3-2 Aris against Puskas Academy, 1.73. Aris, the Cypriot Aris. So let's see if they're going to be a pain in the Aris for their opponents today. 2.25 the favourite is telling you it's wide open, but Puskas Academy must score a goal at least. Hibernians from Malta, still in it. 2-1 down to Trnava from Slovakia. So this version of Hibs is in with a shout. Let's have a look. They're going to have their own version of Sunshine on Leith. Well, they're not fancy today, the Maltese side. 1.18 favourites, Trnava from Slovakia. Only a 1 goal in it, and Hibernians know that they can score. Interesting this evening. Ilves, our old pals from Finland. This was a fantastic match in the first leg against AZ Alkmaar. A great result for Ilves, really was. And it potentially just showing you that it's off-season for AZ Alkmaar. Just need a little bit of a tune-up defensively. But this is going to be a scoreline you're going to get used to from AZ Alkmaar in the Dutch Eredivisie this season. It's a Chuckle Brothers one. To me, to you, to me, to you, to me, to you, to me, to you. It's going to be fun this evening. I'm going with favouritism for AZ Alkmaar with home advantage. And look at that. Absolutely emphatic stuff. 1.09. That's a little bit dismissive of what Ilves achieved at home, to be perfectly honest with you. And there's only 1 goal deficit. But the market is expectant today of AZ Alkmaar, and they are a goal machine in their local league. Where are we? Kaoni, Zalgiris and Valor. Yes, we're going to be Staying up, sleepless nights waiting for this one. Lithuania against Iceland. Let's have a look. 2.1 the favourites. That's going to get short shrift today, unless there's something emphatic in the in-play stats. Győr against Hungary against Punok Yerevan. GYOR. I think I played this one based on in-play stats in the first leg successfully. Győr 1.67 favourites today. Watch out for them today. Rosenborg 5-0 up against Borak, not Borak, but Banga from Lithuania. Don't need to look at the odds today, do we? It's over. Simple as that. As a tie. Rosenborg away from home today. Can afford a 4-0 defeat and still progress. This is one of those matches. They're by far the better side, albeit the red card severely affected. Similar story, Shamrock Rovers. This is exactly what we're expecting. Or rather, more than we were expecting. 1.53 suggested more like a 0-2. But their second leg at home against the Gibraltar side, Shamrock Rovers are going to be bringing it to town. Northern Irish Linfield will be absolutely delighted, particularly away from home, to have kept Zalgiris to 0-0. Linfield now at home. Can they take that home advantage? 2.15 the favourites suggest it's still going to be a tough encounter for both teams. Besiktas, the Turkish team, only 1-0 up against Chernomore. Let's have a look. Basak. And a 1.4 home favourites today. So this is my way of getting an angle into the match. First leg scoreline. What does the market say today? Hammarby against Charleroi. Well, they're hardly doing any hammering. Hammarby 0-0 against Charleroi. The Belgian Europa League just begun. Let's have a look at what the market fancies today. It's going to be difficult to weigh up Charleroi because the season has just begun. But they are a slight odds on today. That's not going to concern Hammarby, who are bang smack in the middle of this one at 0-0. Jagiellonia from Poland will be a little aggrieved not to have put this one to bed. But it's all dependent on the red card time. And indeed, who got red carded? Was it a player on the pitch? Or was it a playing staff off the pitch? But let's have a look at the odds for Jagiellonia, the Polish side, with home advantage. They should make it count. The Polish league is up underway, 1.33 favourites today. We are expectant that they will put some gaps between them and Novi Pazar, at least one goal. The Ukrainian side, Alexandria against Partizan, not quite going the way they expected. Difficult to weigh up these Ukrainian sides, given the fact we can't trade their leagues anymore. 1.9 Partizan today, so that for me is a bit lukewarm, probably because of that 2-goal lead. Ammonia leading by a single goal against Torpedo Kutaisi. Not quite the expectation of the market, was it? 1.2, the favourite. Torpedo going to torpedo them today? Well, no, that's not what the market thinks. 1.75 away for Ammonia. And still we go on. You can see why I asked AI to do this yesterday. The absolute 4 occasions cocked it up for me. I'm going to be phoning Sarah Connor up to have a word. Do a bit of terminating. Petra Cub against Sabah Baku. 2-0 lead for Sabah Baku with home advantage today. 1.42 favourites, so the market's expecting them with home advantage to really put this one to bed. Santa Coloma, wow. Well, you don't need me to tell you who's the favourite in this one. But it's yet another Ukrainian side who's going to be difficult to weigh up. And you know your pants when you're only 1.8 favourite against an Andorran side. Fantastic. I'm going to be cheering on Santa Coloma this evening. Let's see Santa Coloma in the Champions League or Conference League final. That would be marvellous. Do respect the pre-match odds. It could just be a bad day at the office, but if the market's so emphatic, it might just come back to bite Santa Coloma's second leg. Could be a delayed reaction from Policia, but we can't weigh up these Ukrainian sides. Riga, 1.6 favourites at home, 2-1 to the Georgian side. It's a 1-goal in it. Dilagori are at home. And well, it's 2.15 the favourites. So they're not even fancied with home advantage today, with only a goal down. Viking against Klopper. Well, we don't need to look at the second leg. There, it's done. Dungannon from Northern Ireland. Come on, the boys. I actually took this one on. I laid over 1.5 goals and back Vaduz +1. And noting, this was the Liechtenstein Vaduz and not the Swiss Vaduz. I think maybe both me and the market makers got it wrong, because 1.22 for a Liechtenstein side is way out of kilter. Let's have a look at Dungannon today. I'll be cheering this lot on from Northern Ireland. They're in with a real shout of home advantage today. Park the bus, please. AEK Athens against All Hail to the Ale, Hapoel Beersheva, single goal in it. Are the Beer going to be playing at home, given the Israeli, dare I say, genocide of the Palestinians and the territory around that area? It's very strange yesterday. My Facebook was absolutely pummeled with Israeli propaganda pieces. Very strange. I think 4 or 5 of them yesterday, trying to convince us that they're the good guys. But let's not get into politics here. We're here for the football. Hapoel Beersheva and AEK Athens. What was it? A single goal deficit. Yeah. So it's all to play for. I don't know if they'll be playing at home, Hapoel Beersheva, but we will see. Silkeborg, let's have a look at them. Forgot the K. There we go. Silke. No, must have played the day before, I would suspect, because it's not on the list with my K. No, okay. So what we can do here with this one, we're just going to have a look. It was a 1-1 from the first leg. So 1-1 from the first leg, all to play for this Silkeborg. And the Danish Super League has begun. I would be favouring them against an Icelandic side, but again, Icelandic side's very tough to weigh up. Don't forget the national side could impress. It's all about the tactics, isn't it? If you've got a weakened side, you play to your strengths. Copper against Viking, we know that already, don't we? So let's go back to these first leg scorelines. It's a laborious task, isn't it? But we do need to know the first legs in order to get a handle in on the second legs. And I'll be doing this till I retire, I think, this coupon. Kozice and Neyman, 2.3 the favourite. And it's a 2-3. 2.25 the favourite, so that's not a match to really focus on today. Pax, 2.15, leading Maribor, who I would think would be favourite. Maribor have turned up in Europe. They're a familiar name in European competition, and their odds on today, they do need to score the first goal. Radnicki against Klaksvik from the Faroe Islands. Good result for the Faroe side. 0-0 away from home. At home, these Faroe sides can be pretty good. Defensively, at least. 2.15 the favourites, giving them a shout this evening. Varazdin from, is it Croatia? Well, they got the better of Santa Clara, but I think Santa Clara at home for the Portuguese Primeira Liga could make it count, I think. Home advantage, 1.33. Like Braga, I'd be more expectant of a Portuguese Primeira Liga side. This is one of those elite-ish leagues for Santa Clara. Zardino and Maccabi Haifa all to play for here. I don't know if Maccabi Haifa are playing at home. Austria Vienna, well, not quite to expectation. You're expecting 4, 5, 6 goals from them, but they got the 2-goal advantage. They're going to be favourite today. Again, still must make it work. Sudetsko against Beitar Jerusalem. Again, we've got a concern that Beitar will not have home advantage, but they are a very strong favourite today with just that goal deficit. Vardar against Lausanne from Switzerland, Swiss Super League. Vardar taking the lead against the run of the odds. That would suggest that Lausanne are going to be strong favourite at home today, if they were strong favourites away from home against the Macedonians. It's very hard to weigh up, isn't it? That's the problem with this competition. How on earth do you gauge Macedonia against Switzerland? Very difficult. Unpronounceable name against Vikingur Reykjavik. 2-1, all to play for. I'm not going to be analysing that too much. You know what the drill is. Vikingur need to score a goal. Dinamo Minsk odds on favourite, 2 goals down to Ignatia. How does the market react to that? Well, they're still not impressed with Dinamo Minsk at all. Don't forget, we saw our pattern with sides 2-0 down, odds on favourites in the next round and scoring the first goal. but they're not even odds-on favourites in the second round, this Dynamo Minsk. So that tells you a story. Dundee United against Luxembourg, well, expecting to be more prolific than the single goal. They might be in trouble, Dundee, today. Well, they're 1.8 favourites against the Luxembourg side. I wish them well, British side. Brøndby against Tórshavn. Brøndby will be bitterly disappointed at 1.14 not to have put this one to bed. Well, it is 1.07 today. They should be putting it to bed with 3+ goals. St. Pat's, well, they're just an awful side at the moment, even in the Irish Premier Division. Look at this, 2 red cards and you win 1-0. Caldew, I'm not going to be discounting Caldew. This is an Arthur Daly side, this St. Pat's side. Awful stuff. 1.8 favourite. Not going to be getting any of my money, that's for sure. In-play stats, keep an eye on that. They might just be the better side, but we don't know. Dekic against Rapid. This is probably Rapid Vienna from Austria. 2-goal lead. Home advantage today. The market's going to be impressed with that. 1.13. Don't need to score a shed load, remember. Sarajevo against University Craiova from Romania. It's 2.3 the favourite. This one is likely to be as difficult to call. Let's have a look. Craiova 1.62 favourite today. Larn from Northern Ireland 0-0, all to play for against Pristina, but they are away from home. They didn't make home advantage account, and now Pristina are odds-on favourites against the Northern Irish. I will be cheering them from the rafters as well. Rakow against Alina made that red card count and home advantage count. The Polish champions. I think they're the champions, but they were there or thereabouts last season. And they're evens today because it's a nice, comfortable lead. I'm going to be on hand for members of footballtradingprofits.com from 4:30, maybe. I'm not sure we'll get much out of Trnava and Hibernian. You know what these websites could really do with in these legs is to put the first leg scoreline in brackets. That way we don't have to go like this all the time. Make everyone's life a lot easier. Don't forget expectation with the short odds. Braga, certainly 1.22. They are certainly capable of scoring the 3 goals we expect of these short odds. And the possibility of a goal before half-time. Don't forget that in pressurised matches where teams are at least 2 goals down, you'd expect them to look for a goal before half-time, wouldn't you? 1.18, we're going to see 3 goals from this slot. 1.2, we're going to see Austria Vienna light up. 1.22 AEK certainly are capable of translating 1.22 into 3 or more goals. That's for sure. Beitar Jerusalem as well from Israel. Brøndby 1.07. Expecting to take Tórshavn apart. This Brøndby side have goals in them, particularly in the Danish Super League. 1.13 Sparta Prague. 1.3 Aris from Greece. Jagiellonia. We've got all of these odds-on favourites. Be interesting to see whether they turn up with the expected goals or not. Vikingur, Reykjavik and Shamrock Rovers as well. This is the conundrum, isn't it? You've got a 3 or 4 goal lead. Now you've got home advantage. You are by far the better side. I'm not sure. I don't think Shamrock will have a game on Friday. Of course, the Irish Premier Division begins on or plays on a Friday. Maybe they've got a game on a Saturday or Sunday rescheduled. The Portuguese Super Cup, Sporting Lisbon against Benfica. This is the seasonal pipe opener. I'm not going to be researching this. It is effectively a friendly. It's just another way to wangle out a few quid off the long-suffering fans. Any other leagues I've missed out on? Because they are coming. We've got English League One at the weekend. We've got the German Bundesliga 2 at the weekend. It's all going to be great stuff. And we've got some very, very familiar names in friendlies. They did tempt me in yesterday. Well, this could tempt me in. Sides of this quality. Quite obviously. World class against Perth Glory, for goodness sake. So I might have a taste of these ones. Arsenal and Tottenham is just a showcase in Singapore, I think it is, or somewhere near my neck of the woods. So we're getting some big boys playing, and I wouldn't be dismissive of these friendlies, particularly if the in-play stats suggest they are going for it. So I will see members of Football Training Profits today from 4:30. It's going to be an interesting evening. We must be ever cautious of those first leg scorelines, and we need to be hopeful that these short odds translate into goals. It does make our lives a lot easier. Have a great day, and I hope you enjoyed yesterday's profits, which were very nice indeed. Particularly Lynn and Arlison's, which I was delighted with. I'm going to be trying to set you up with plays like this throughout the season, where we've got a chance at a big reward, but we still come out with a profit. It's all lovely jubbly. Have a great day, and I will see you again a little bit later.